my name is Lindsay Field from the Study of the Equine Hoof. This hoof is S2 and it was a previously shod foot, and I have been absolutely desperate to look inside this foot. There's a few videos that I've popped on Facebook and Patreon on the external features of this foot when it still had the shoe on, and now I've popped the shoe off and I'm going to have a look at it exactly as it stands like this. I'm going to describe everything to you, all the external visual features of this foot, and then later on I'm going to dissect this foot and look at some of the specific things that I want to really delve into on a foot like this. So I suggest you go back and have a look at some of the previous videos and photographs of this foot so you can get a bit of an idea and a bit of understanding, because I think it'll help you understand a little bit more about what we're seeing now. Quick overview, what have we revealed by taking the shoe off? What have we seen that we didn't see when the shoe was on? Well, we couldn't see the white line and now we can see that, and it does look a little bit stretched, but I've got to clean that up. We can see where the nail holes go through, and it looks like they go through the white line, through that part there. That the wall is quite degraded around here. We've lost probably half, I reckon, 50% of the wall has been lost at this point here, and not so much at this point here. The hoof wall is very, very flat, and I assume that is to allow the shoe to be placed. I can see some serious flaring going on as well now, because I didn't really see it so much then. Can you see how it sort of comes out here and it's coming out round here as well? You know, it's sort of the shape. But this could be a hind, so we do get like a spade type shape in a hind. And so maybe this might be the right shape for that horse, but you know, there does seem to be coming out a bit at these two sides. The bars look like they are overgrown, the sole around here and here. Now we've got the shoe off. We can see a lot of damage that have gone on in here, and if I dig I could go quite deep. That the hoof wall has been folded over at this point here and is pressing on the sole, and it's pressed on the sole and it's actually made an indentation in the sole there, the same sort of shape as this. Because the sole is elastic, it's elastic plastic type structure which can be deformed, and that shows that quite well there. We can see a lot of rubbish that's come out of the back here, and we can see that we are not getting that lovely triangle of heel buttress. That the bar doesn't look like it's even joined. It just looks like these are two separate entities, and we know they're not. That hoof wall should grow round and then go into the bar, and it doesn't look like it is. It looks like it's all broken off there. The hoof wall is much higher at this point than the bar that's down there, and the heels themselves are very, very low in terms of measuring them from here to here. This heel is about half a centimetre, maybe 0.7. This one is about 3 millimeters, so 0.3 of a centimetre at this point. I can see that there is this brownness around here, around the sole, and I can see that the sole is exfoliating quite readily where the shoe had been placed. It doesn't seem to be exfoliating around here so well, and it just seems to be sporadic. And that the toe clip, if the toe clip should have been centre, it's not. If the centre of the frog is there, then you expect the centre of the toe clip to be here, and it's to one side. And so now I need to think about what we're going to look at and what we expect to see and how to cut it. And I'm going to have a think about this. I'm going to have to study it quite carefully and think about where I'm going to take my slices to get the best value for our review. Now, if I take my slices across the back of the foot like this, through there, then I'm going to get a pretty good view at what's going on there. And I think I would be quite keen to do that, because also it's going to give me a really good view of the frog and the digital cushion, the whole thing in situ. You know, if I take it down the middle and then start slicing, you know, we're only looking at half a foot. And I think if I do that carefully, I'll be able to slice through the nail holes as well. And I'll be able to look through from that sort of view. I think also what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up one half of the foot. I'm going to rasp it up so we can actually see what we're dealing with here. Because although to me I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, probably you farriers are looking at it and thinking, oh, that's a really great foot and it just needs a bit of a rasp. But you see, you've got to remember that I look at this intently with it only being a few inches from my nose. And I pick out all the ins and outs of what's going on. So maybe I'm seeing something that is of no consequence, but I can only describe what I see. And I do rely on you to help me if you think that I'm barking up a tree which I do not need to bark up. Yeah, I think by actually doing that slice, we're going to get to see what sort of damage is going on around here. I think that's probably the way I'm going to go, is doing the slicing like that. Also, by doing that, I think we're going to get to see a much better view of what's happening on here at the back of the foot, inside that central sulcus of the frog. But what I am planning to do before I start my slicing is I'm planning to take the hide off, because I want to actually look at what the cartilages look like before I start slicing. And I want to see, I think once the hides come off, we can see what's going on underneath. And I think that might help us see a better picture of what we think is happening with the foot. So by doing the slicing that way, it does mean that we are not going to see the way that the hoof wall is attached to the coffin bone, you know, because we're not going to be doing a straight down the middle slice. I think the only way we would see that is if I did an X-ray, and I don't really want to go that route at the moment. So that's my plan. Come back to me if you think there's anything else that I could be looking at with this foot. And I'm really keen to show you what I see and share all my findings with you. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it.